And then I called, who did I call? I don't think I called my insurance. Oh, I have AAA. So I called AAA, and they were like, okay, we're going to send somebody out. But, you know, they had to ask me certain questions. And based on my answers to those questions, they're like, oh, we're going to send the fire department out. So, do you have anything important left in the car? I was like, no, I took everything out. Like, well, everything that I could grab, because remember, we had to climb out this way. And all the stuff is towards the right of the car from where he hit, and that part is all bent up. So, you know, I grabbed, like, of course, like, my phone, wallet, like, stuff like that. So, it's just a long story. I don't know why I started telling this story. But yeah, so that's what happened. They're like, we're going to send the fire department out. And they were like, stay away from the car. I was like, okay. So the fire department comes. The fire department was quick. Like, when I tell you they got there in a matter of like 2 to 5 minutes, if that, from that call. Like, as a matter of fact, by the time I got off the phone with AAA, I heard the sirens of the fire truck. They were on it. So they come, they check it out, and they're like telling everybody to get back. And I'm just like, the fact that you have to send the fire department and they're like, stay away from the car, that means that my car could blow up at any moment. At this point, I'm accepting the fact that my car might be done. So I'm just like, oh man, like, you know, I just didn't know how to feel, you know, all this, whatever. So so like they all like put the tape on it or whatever. Oh no, not yet. So the fire department, the firemen and women, they come over to the car. Well, they come over to me and they're like, hey, yada yada yada, and they're like, has there been any smoking? And I'm like, no. So then they, you know, do what they're doing, and they're really quick at it. Like, they're just like, so then I'm gonna explain it how I understand it, or how it came across to me. But basically, one brave firefighter like put himself in harm's way and was like, we have to move this car. I don't know if they turned it on. I think they had to turn it on to move it, because the way it was like lodged up, they needed to like, I don't know if they turned the engine on. I think they like checked it to make sure it wasn't like literally about to blow up. But I know they needed my key. So I don't know if they just turned it like on, like as in like the AC and the radio type thing on, you know, whether like the car's on but the engine isn't on, or if they turned on the engine. But I think they had to turn on the engine, which I'm like, what? I don't know. I was just so like, whew. I don't know. But still, he had to go in the car, and he's telling me to stay away. He's telling everybody to stay away. But he has to get my car off the rocks and get my car. There was a Walgreens there. He had to get my car into the Walgreens and park it as far as possible from all the other cars. And then from there, they did something else. And then that's when they put the yellow tape on it, and they were like saying, like, you know, trying to let everybody know to not even drive past my car, basically. Like, if you have to get out of that Walgreens parking lot, don't even drive this way, because it may blow up. But that was like the safest place to put it, because it was the only place nearby that wasn't too close to a building. So they were just like, okay, we're gonna put it here, you know, it looks fine, make sure you do this and do that and whatever. And mind you, I still had like belongings in there, but I got like the most important stuff out. So then but at the same time that they called the fire department, they called the police, and because I had to make a statement based on what happened. I had to make a statement and all of that. And yeah, it was just a whole big shebang. So we're waiting on the police. And well, they were like, the police has to come before we pick up the car, because they were gonna send out a truck, but they can't send out a truck if the police don't come. So they're like, call us back when the police come, because we don't, they don't want to send out a truck and then they're waiting forever for the police, and then all that. So they were like, call us when the police come. I was like, okay, bet. So we're waiting. I'm gonna speed up this part of the story because it was just a long time of waiting. I was waiting over 4 hours in the middle of the night for the police. I'm just gonna skip to that part because there's more juicy parts, but it's just gonna make this much longer. Yeah, I was waiting for over 4 hours in the middle of the night, and part of those 4 hours, the police were driving by, like, playing at, I hope I don't get, like, hurt for this, and I'm not trying to be funny, but I'm serious, like, with the climate that we're in. But they were playing at, and I know this isn't every police officer, because the police officer that came out, like, that actually ended up coming out, was amazing. And not just because he was in my favor, but he was amazing to both sides. And it was me, and the person who hit me was a black man, so he could have very well, like, if he had that mentality, he could have been a certain way. So the police were, most of the time, they were playing around at the red light. And when I say playing around at the red light, this happened a lot up north. The police used their sirens to go through the light. And then once they get on the other side, like once they get past a certain point of the light, they turn their siren off. So there was like a couple of police that were just like racing. It was 2 cars, and they were just racing. And then there was another car that was just chilling, like not listening, whatever. And then we called multiple times, like, hey, yada yada, and they're like, oh, we sent somebody out. And then they're like, oh, somebody said they were there, but nobody was there. It was me and all of my roommates, as well as the other guy standing outside, and it was obvious that we were waiting for, like, it was obvious that we were waiting for somebody.
Watch out, crash reported ahead.
Oh crap. And I also had a white car, and I have yellow tape all over it in front, like, and my car is like on the highway side of the parking lot. So if you go by the highway, you can see a little white car with a bunch of yellow tape all over it. So it's very, very obvious that something happened over there. And we're just standing around. And it got to the point that it was raining. We had to, like, go under, like, where the Walgreens had that little overpass. But we still made sure that we stood out very obvious. And, like, whenever we saw a police car, whether it was raining or not, we ran out. And they just didn't come for a while. And then I saw, finally, an actual sheriff came out, and he handled everything. And the guy who hit me had the nerve to say that I ran the red light. Not he ran the red light, I ran the red light. Because even though he had the right of way, like, well, he doesn't have the right of way, but even though he can turn on red, I have the right of way because my arrow is green. And it wasn't just like I was just turning. It was a whole big line of us turning. So it was just like, honestly, it was a matter of luck that he hit me. He could have very well hit the person in front of me or the person behind me, because we were all in one line. So it was obvious that there was no room for him to go through if he was even looking at the road, because he didn't even brake. He didn't even try and like cut anybody off. He just went. He was not paying attention, and he probably was looking for something in his car, and that's why that crash happened. And there was nowhere I could go because there was somebody right in front of me, there was somebody right behind me, so I had to kind of like scooch my way. Oh, that's probably why the car went over, because I was kind of like turning to the left to kind of like give myself more room for me to go up, because the next car was right in front of me. So I was kind of like turning to, because I kind of like saw him coming and saw that he wasn't slowing down, and I was like, you know, trying to ooch over. So it was just crazy. But yeah, he told the cop that I ran the red light. Like basically, his first story, he had like 5 different stories. His first story was that no, it was a green light for him. It was just a green light, and he was just turning right on green, not turning right on red. Just it was a green light for him, and I was just like coming out of nowhere and got in front of him, and he hit me, or like I hit him. He didn't even say he hit me. He said I got in front of him and I hit him. That doesn't make any sense. Because, and even the cop said, if she would have ran if she wouldn't have had the green right away, because I think there's like 3 or 4 lanes up there on International Drive. And he was telling him, like, if she would have had a red light and she still tried to go, she wouldn't have made it to where she got hit, because somebody else would have hit her. Like, because that's 3 lanes that I gotta get across, and they all have green lights and I don't, and I'm just trying to push my way across. Like I would have got hit, and they have red light cameras there, so I would have got flashed. So no, try again. And then he said, oh wait, no, it was red, but I can turn right on red. And he's like, you can turn right on red, but you have to give the people who have the right of way, she has the right of way because she has green. You have to give her the right of way. Unless she decides to be nice and lets you go and says go, you can't go in front of her. You can't try and, you can't do anything like that. And, and I didn't even have a chance to say my side. Like, this is what he was saying, like, just based off of what makes sense. And so, yeah, like, I was just like, I don't know, like, but that, that's what happens. Like, unfortunately, there are times that people lie and they get away with it. But I really believe, like, as long as you tell the truth, 9 times out of 10, you're not even gonna have to argue. You're not even gonna have to try. You're not even gonna have to, like, push that much. Like, that night, even though, like, I didn't feel like it because my car was, I found out that night my car was totaled. Well, I already figured it was totaled, but then when they took it to the shop, they were like, there's nothing we can do. The repair would cost more than the car's worth, because I had a 1998 Ford Taurus. Like, they're not getting those parts for me. Like, no. Like, I might as well just kiss that car goodbye. But long story short, it was just like, he really tried to lie, and he held on to that story for the longest time, that I hit him. And like, if I had the pictures, I would show you guys. Like, there's no way I could hit him. And then that was that. And he actually got a ticket for running the red light, because I guess I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I guess, like, by the way, like, you can kind of tell, like, by the street and by, like, the way somebody was hit and all of that. I guess, like, based on, like, the damage and all of that, it was evident that he didn't even brake. So he had to been going a certain speed to hit me where he hit me. And so there was no way that he did what you're supposed to do, which is, okay, yeah, if you're at a red light, you can turn on red, but you have to come to a full stop and then turn. And I, like, he couldn't have come to a full stop and then turn right if he hit me with the force that he hit me. And also, if he hit me in the first place. Because, yeah. For him to do that much damage, he had to just have gone straight through the red light, which is against the law. Like, he didn't even slow down anything. He didn't even do a California roll. He just kept going. So yeah, he got a ticket for running the red light, and that was that. And then we went through a whole big thing with his insurance, because his insurance was trying to make me file under my insurance, because my insurance was a smaller company. And sometimes if you're not in the wrong, it's hard for if you have a small insurance company, it's hard for your insurance company to get reimbursed. Like, even if you're not at fault, it's hard for, like, let's say I would have filed under my insurance company just to make it quicker, because they were just kind of stalling, and they were trying to make me stumble over my words, and like trying to, because they knew I was from Pennsylvania, and we don't have either any or as much of the arrow situation. So they were just trying to like trip me up, like, oh, you had a green light, and it's like, no, I had a green arrow. Because if I had a green light, like for the people who were just going straight, then I wouldn't have had a green arrow, like on that specific street, because that's how it's set up there. So they were just trying to like be shady or whatever, and yeah, it didn't really work out for them. Because at the end of the day, the fact that he got a ticket, the fact that where the damage was, and all of that, it was just evident, like, who did what. So, what are they doing? Stop. But yeah, so, long story short, his insurance had to pay for the worth of my car, and that I put that money towards this car. So I have not letting nobody mess up my car before. Either before I pay it off or after I pay it off. No, I'm not doing that. So that's why I was so like adamant of like, no, we not crashing today. I don't care whose fault it is. We not crashing today, because I'm not going through that again. And yeah, but that's it, guys. I'm gonna get some gas. Dang, this place is packed, but I'm gonna go ahead and get some gas. I'm gonna talk to you guys later. And yeah, I'm really gonna start working on like drafting up. Oh, come on, you got it fair and square though. But yeah, I'm really gonna ooh, there's so many people. Start working on drafting up like how to help things run a little bit smoother for the company now that it's grown to its size, because it really is an amazing company, and from the coaches that I've met, we really do have a good team this year, an amazing team this year, and I don't want people to leave from being, overwhelmed or anything like that, or just for the director to be overwhelmed. So this is turning into something great, and I want it to, follow suit. So that's all I have to say, guys. I'll talk to you later. And yeah, I just hope you guys have a good day, and yeah, stay tuned for more adventures with me. Bye.